Hey everybody, it's Stan again. This will be my 7th video on symptoms. Guess part of the reason why I started all my videos all over again was to try to organize them a little better. I think I had 1 or 2 symptom videos in the other group, and I'm already up to 7 videos. So I wanted to cover symptoms a lot better than I ever did before. So anyway, I'll try to move along here, then keep blabbing about nothing, I guess. So my first one here is being disconnected to normal living and people. Just a feeling of being disconnected, like almost like being autistic, okay? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now, but y'all can do that on your own. Canceling activities, okay? Constantly making plans. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm going to go to this show. I'm going to go to a concert. I'm going to go out this weekend. And then when it comes right down to it, you cancel out. Okay, why do you cancel out? Well, you might not feel that great, generally speaking, but it's just more like mentally. You just don't, I don't know, I can't even put it into words. You just don't want to do it or something. I don't know. Anyway, but if you're canceling a lot of activities, again, it's a symptom. Afraid to climb heights, being unsteady. For me, it was just being unsure of myself, like where am I going to put my feet? Am I going to miss a step and fall down? I also couldn't stand the heights when I got up there. Just my peripheral vision and my view that I saw just seemed distorted, almost like a kaleidoscope type thing. And never liked heights from the time I was a kid. I guess I'll talk about that too. I probably have been toxic since I was a kid, based on all the illnesses I had, type thing, or chronic ear infections and sinus and constant digestive stomach issues. But we'll get into that in another video. Now I can kind of do heights much better. I don't feel so unsure and unsteady and borderline dizzy and borderline vertigo and all that. I hate talking on the phone. I just hate conversations, or hated long conversations. Maybe it was like stressful to think I'd have to keep focused that long to think and be able to continue a conversation. Wi-Fi is very big now. You see people everywhere talking about 5G and Wi-Fi. There are definitely many people I know that are very sick from Wi-Fi. They can't be around any of this Wi-Fi stuff. Okay, and if you look around, you'll see all kinds of clothes and guards and protection being sold to people now to protect them from this stuff. So, there's definitely something to all that. I won't get into the more details on that, but, don't leave your cell phone near your bed when you sleep at night. Don't be near your computer all day long. I definitely cannot put that cell phone near my head and talk for more than a few minutes. It starts whacking me out. Head blips. A good friend of mine called them head blips, and I never, that wasn't my term for it. Maybe some of you listening know what a head blip is, but it's kind of like you're sitting there, you're walking, you're doing something. You can almost feel this sensation coming on, and then all of a sudden you feel like your reality, your visual reality and your sense of reality skips a beat. It's almost like you're watching a movie and a couple frames of the movie just disappeared all of a sudden. And you feel it in your head. You feel like this weird bobbing, like your head drops, or like you feel like you're nodding off, or you're going to pass out. But you never do. You just feel that way. My friend who was toxic with amalgams called them head blips. So I like that term. I didn't have a term for it, so this is a big one. So I hope I'm connecting with somebody there, because it's a terrible feeling. You feel like your inside of your brain just shifted, like physically moved or something. It's just weird. Fear of many things, overreacting to things. I mean, fear in general is a symptom. So fear of anything, you name it, fear. Okay. And again, if you have multiple symptoms of what I've talked about in 7 videos here, a very good connection to the toxicity and heavy metals. Already mentioned overreacting. Things running over in our mind over and over. I might have talked about that already. Sorry if I did. In my case, I was allergic to like all antibiotics. We all have like food intolerances. We have environmental intolerance. I forget this. Chronic chemical sensitivity, something or other. Shoot, I wish I would have wrote it down. But there's actually a syndrome, chemical sensitivity, something, and it's just you're highly sensitive to chemicals. Cleaning stuff in your house, and if you look on labels of foods and drinks, there's chemicals and everything. So take a look at that, and don't underestimate the fact that just a little bit of those chemicals could be too much for some of us. Okay, I'll talk about MTHFR in another video. That is to me, directly related to being very sensitive to all toxicity, and why some of us maybe are more sick and prone to being sick than others, because we just don't have the greatest detox system. Grinding teeth is another one. It's a very specific, definite mercury symptom. Social separation and isolation is another one that came to my mind. You can understand what that means. I had something I wanted to talk about, sleep issues. Oh, I did talk about sleep problems in another video, but I just want to say that what I did say in that video was when I had my last amalgam removed, I think it was literally that night, I slept the whole night, all the way through, 6-7 hours straight, first time ever in like years, 20 years maybe. And ever since then, I generally sleep all the way through the night, okay? So if you're not sleeping all the way through the night, it's a pretty good connection to metals. I put down antisocial too. We all know a lot of people that are like that. I don't want to be around people, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, I felt that way a lot also. Shyness and all this kind of stuff. I don't feel that way now in the same way. So it's all improved, and it's only improved after I detoxed. Everything I'm saying here are things that I had issues with, and they all got better with detoxing. All right? So let's talk about diseases. This is going to be a possibly controversial type subject. I personally reversed many diseases or disease symptoms. I stopped going to my doctor because I knew that the doctor had no cure for all my symptoms, and all my doctor was going to do is label me with another disease. And again, I knew I had mercury in me, so what was the point of going to the doctor? They don't really have cures. So that's when I started going down other paths, trying to figure out how to get myself better. And could I get myself better? How do I detox? What's the best way to detox? All that kind of stuff. That was kind of my aha moment about a whole lot of things in this world. Well, here's the term, multiple chemical sensitivity. That's what I was trying to think of up above. So there it is. And again, MTHFR. Maybe that'll be the next video I do after I get out of talking about symptoms. Autoimmune diseases. There's a lot of literature saying people with autoimmune disease have low glutathione. MTHR affects glutathione. That was my thought when I was trying to figure out what to do about detoxing. If my natural body detox glutathione is low, then I'm already behind the 8 ball. So if I can boost this, which MTHFR supplements do, maybe I'll feel better. Maybe I'll detox better. And that's what my functional doctor thought as well. And that's what I did. And I started to really feel better and detox. So I did not go the chelation route. I was looking into that. I didn't like the idea of it. I'll talk about it in other videos. So just be aware. Everybody's running a chelation out there. Everybody's, Googling how to detox. They're finding chelation. Personally, I'd be skeptical about what that does to us. Just because when you're forcing stuff out of you with chelation, note I use the term force. It's not natural. It's a chemical binding with stuff, and it's saying, come on, get out of here. how does your body react to that? Is it ready to react to that? You know, think about those things. So I have kind of this first topic. I probably have these different immune diseases. Alzheimer's, you know, they say high aluminum in the brain causes memory issues. Mercury holds aluminum in. Once you remove your amalgams, aluminum is one that will come out on its own pretty readily. That's what Dr. Cutler said. If you look up in his Facebook group, he's unfortunately passed away, but the group's still there, very good information. I experienced this myself. I believe my brain detoxed on its own quite readily once I removed my amalgams. So I've proved all these different things in my way, in my life, that what I was reading by actually going through it. So I don't say things that I'm not sure of. I'll do a video about that someday too. There's too many people out there talking like they're experts about stuff, and I can tell they're not even toxic. And I strongly suggest all you listening to this, if you're looking for help, find people that are toxic. You know, non-toxic people or even doctors don't really get this. They'll tell you to take this or take that because they learned it somewhere else. And there's a lot of stuff that people are being told to take that can harm some of us because we're very sensitive to it. Chlorella is one good example. I'm kind of jumping around here, but these things come up as I think of them. And I don't want to forget. I will talk about it in other videos. MS, multiple sclerosis. Again, I mentioned earlier, I had a lot of the symptoms. I'm sure if I would have pursued it, I would have been told I'm either getting MS or I have it. And people say, well, you got to have the lesions, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? Maybe I had them too. I know people who have reversed all that with detoxing. Okay? That's not just me talking. That's multiple people out there. Fibromyalgia type symptoms, I had those. I definitely was diagnosed with chronic fatigue. That's one of my first diagnoses. And I'll just say it right now. When my doctor told me that, I said, well, what do I do about it? He just looked at me and said, well, we don't know. We don't know what causes it. We don't know what to do about it. And I thought to myself, that makes absolutely no sense. Okay, at the time I didn't know I had amalgams or mercury. Soon after that, I found out. And I went for chelation, which isn't recommended right now, IV chelation. And I might have damaged myself, but 20 years ago I didn't know any better. I felt immediate relief of all my symptoms sitting in that chair getting chelation. It was like magic, literally. Like when you feel all your symptoms going away, you know it's literally from the metals in you because they're coming out of you. It was that quick. The improvement in many symptoms. Okay, so that was my one and only real diagnosis. I didn't continue with all the others because I probably would have had a whole bunch of others on this list. ADHD, definitely related. ADD, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, no doubt it's all related. Parkinson's, I know people with Parkinson's, and I ask them, do they have amalgams? They say yes. A friend of mine who I met through all this detoxing, she thinks she has Parkinson's, and I try to tell her, well, whatever. So let me I'll make a general comment right now, which I forgot to earlier on when I got into the disease category, is you have to ask yourself, does it make sense to have all these diseases nowadays? Like 40 years ago when I was a kid, 50 years ago, we only had like one autoimmune disease, and we whispered about the word cancer. Nowadays everybody expects to get cancer pretty much, and everybody has several autoimmune diseases. Unfortunately, if you're born in the last 10, 20 years, you think it's normal. Those of us that have been around a while, it just makes absolutely no sense. You have to ask yourself, where is all this disease coming from? Okay? Did God put it all here? Makes no sense to me that that's the case. So, and then the fact that I personally reversed these symptoms, okay? You have to start connecting the dots, folks. At least give it a try, because you can have your health back. I'm up to, running out of time. That's it. See ya.